continuation of my life lessons. I'm here sharing my life lessons, my journey, and why I do what I do today. So, 9 years old, and I knew how much money to get from the money jar, which was kept in the kitchen, to go to the farmer's market and get the items on my list. Items on the list, right? Farmer's market, some fruits, some vegetables. Sometimes I picked up milk, right? Enough where a 9-year-old will be able to carry. I wasn't going out and getting 25 pounds of flour, 5 pounds of butter. It was just fruits and vegetables. The lesson here is that 9 years old, and my parents knew that I knew how much money to get from the jar, and then they would give me the list and I would go to the market and get them. I also, at that point, I remembered that whatever I saw on the list, I would create. I'm really good. My memory is really great, but I would create a list in my mind. So let's say, tomatoes, cilantro, onions. And in my mind, I would see all those items in a basket and I would just remember them. Which I still do to this day to an extent. But I thought, that was a great way, because it took me about 3 times. I would see them, see the list, see the basket. I would have an imaginary basket. And then I would just be able to go to the store, to the farmer's market, and get the items. There was times where I would walk in to the farmer's market and I knew, I would take in, and I would start with who had the smallest line, right? So even that, to me, now looking back, what a clever 9-year-old I was. And so I would start with the people that had the shortest line, and I would just make myself my rounds and then get the items on the list. If by chance there was like an extra sale, buy one, get 150% off, or buy one, whatever that was, that meant that I had extra money. And for those days where I had extra money, I would go and treat myself to a freshly squeezed orange juice, carrot juice. And to this day, that is still one of my favorite drinks, right? That was a treat. They had extra sale, right? I wasn't investing. I wasn't spending more money than I came out with, but it was a treat. So from that time on, I always make it into a game to this day. If I go to the grocery store and happen to have extra sale, right? I always get a treat. Yes, a lot of the times is definitely carrot juice and orange juice. There's something about that combination that, one, brings good memories, but I really enjoyed the flavor. What does that have to do with today and today's business is that sometimes it's taking the time to plan, right? Just making a plan. I had a list. I knew how much money to get. I knew where the vendors were. And the plan was to start with the vendor had the shortest list or the shortest line, finish out my list. And the bonus tip here was, I had a creative way of memorizing the items on the list, right? It was never a lot of, it's farmer's market, right? So it's whatever fruits and vegetables we needed. And if I didn't have enough money to treat myself to a carrot orange juice drink, I would buy some kind of fruit. Right? I just would pick up a piece of fruit. But it was, a lot of the times, it was definitely a treat for me, which I still do to this day, and which is something that I encourage my clients to do. Have a list of things that you will do to reward yourselves. As entrepreneurs, right, we don't have a manager, we don't have a boss that says, great job. So what are you doing to reward yourselves? Yes, fruits and vegetables. Fruits were definitely my go-to because it was a treat. It was something. And yes, I did not share that either. I normally would finish eating whatever it was that I purchased before I got home. So that's something we'll keep it between us here. My parents, thank God, are not on LinkedIn. so they're not gonna see this. But they did not know the treats that I was getting for myself. So I invite you to today make a list. Make a list of the things that you will do for yourself to reward yourself. Everybody's list is different. Some of my clients have get a car wash, go for a drive to the beach, go for a drive to the mountains, treat themselves to a nice lunch, go to a movie. That's just to give you some ideas. But I would love to hear from you. What are some of the things that you're going to put on your kudos or your reward list? I look forward to reading your comments. Thank you.